Greetings and welcome to Hexed Encountered. I'm Joe. In this video, we're going to try the combined game, playing both Hapsburg Eclipse, which is up here, and Ottoman Sunset, which is down here. And you can see they're connected through the Berlin-Baghdad Railway. And this is the thing that connects the two games. Basically, you still play them separately. So this could be played as a cooperative game where one player will take Austria-Hungary and the other player will take the Ottomans and play it that way. But if you're doing it solo, as I am, then you have basically the situation where you control both. And so the way this works, it's really straightforward. There are some cards, and we'll see when I encounter one, I'll point it out, that are marked that indicate that that is a card that will affect both games. Now, both games do still have their own deck. Here's the Hapsburg Eclipse deck. Ottomans are off map, but it's right here. So basically, you start just like you would a regular game. You start early war, and your national will is here, tracked on 0, right? There is no war status box on here, but we do have one up there that we can use. Now, there are some special rules, and I'll point that out as we go along. But essentially, you're just playing both games, and there are some things, but not everything, that will affect both boards. So, having said that, the way it works is the Habsburgs go first, and they get 2 turns before the Ottomans go, to reflect the fact that Austria-Hungary was in the war from the very beginning, and the Ottomans didn't enter until a few months later. So, we're going to pull our first card here. Now, again, we're in the early war time frame, and we get Treaty of London, which actually advances the war status marker, as you can see right there. And so this is basically, it brings Italy in, and it advances the war status marker. It's kind of funny that this was the very first card. We got to do a loyalty test for the Croats, and we do get 3 actions, but we do have to place we have to advance the war status marker and activate the Italian front. We're going to place Cardona in Udine, which again is over here. If you did watch my last episode when I did a little bit of play from Hapsburg Eclipse, I did mess up. I drew this card and I put the Italian marker out, but I forgot to advance the war status to the second phase of the war. So let's place our marker out here. Here's Cadorna right here, and we will put him on the Udine spot, which is right here. Okay, now we have an advance for the Carpathian and Polish fronts, so that's here and here. Then we move this to the midday for expanded war. And what we're going to do also is do a loyalty check for the Croats. So their number is a 3, and the dice tower is over here, so I'll just leave it there. And we're going to roll. We rolled a 2, so they are going to fail. And I think it says times 2. It does. So times 2 means we have to do it twice. So try this again and hope for a better result this time. And we got a 4. So it only advanced 1. That's good. Okay, so now I'm going to mix in the mid-war cards. That's this deck here with the yellow background. So I'm going to do that off camera, but we're going to have a nice thick deck now. And I'm going to pause here, shuffle them, and then we'll pick up. Okay, we'll draw a second card. It is Otranto Barrage. Okay, so again, if you want to read the text, I would say just pause. But this says we're going to resolve the Otranto Barrage Naval Theater off-map battle. Actually, I just realized I didn't do we're going to hold this. I'll still play that card, but I got to do my 3 actions. So we're going to try and push these 2 fronts back. I think that's worth attempting. So I am going to roll a die. Our number for Brusilov here on the Carpathian front, rather, is a 4. and we do not succeed. And then for Polish front, we need a 3, and we got a 1. And I've got one more, so we will once again try the Russians, and we failed again. That's a 2. Okay, so that was pretty much a waste of time. I could have just gone on, right? All right. So we're going to resolve our Otranto Barrage Naval Theater off-map battle. It's over here. Let's see if we can find it. It's right there. It's a 4. So we'll roll. And we got a 4. So that is a victory. Okay. Then we advance Italy, which means we have to check. And then the Baltic and Romanian, Balkan and Romanian fronts are inactive. And we do have to do a loyalty test on the Croatians, and we get 1 action. So first things first, let's check to see if they can get over the, a 1 to advance. They do not, so they stay there. So nobody advances, so that at least is good. Now we do our loyalty check for the Croats. They got a 6, so they are fine. They don't move towards revolt. And my 1 action, I'm going to again attempt to move the Russians back. And again fail. All right. I'm going to keep the 2 discard piles you may have noticed. I'm going to sort them by color. That way the next time I play, I don't have to sort the cards. Hey, I'm lazy. What can I say? All right. Battle of Seer. Okay, this is card number 3. So again, pause if you want to read the text. But this is to deal with the invasion of Serbia by the Austro-Hungarians. And we resolve the Seer miscellaneous Serbian off-map battle. We're going to have advances on the Italian and Carpathian fronts, not the Balkans, of course. Another Croat loyalty test and 3 actions. So we have to do the Battle of Seer, which is going to be a hard one to win. It's a 5. And we got a 4, so that is a loss. I did not move the war track. It should have been at 1 after we won that one, but I didn't. And I forgot to do the Ottomans. We'll do the Ottomans here in a moment, and I'll let them go 2 times in a row. Because once you do 2 for the Austro-Hungarians, you're supposed to do 1 for the Ottomans, and I forgot to do that, so I apologize. But let's see. We get Italians attempt to advance. They need a 1. You don't get it. We need the, or we roll for, we don't roll, actually. The Carpathians advance, so they're going to move here. And then once they go past it, they will reduce the fortress level by 1. But that does cost us 2 will, so that's going to put us at -2. And we get 1 action, and again, I'm going to try to move these guys back. And this time I'm successful. And then that would move this back to 0. Okay, now we'll do the Ottomans. So I'm going to draw an Ottoman card off the top here. Enver to the front. No event. Okay, Enver Pasha was one of the Young Turks. Okay, so we're going to advance the Caucasus and the Sinai front. And we get 2 actions, and it says both of these actions must be used for offensives against the Caucasus front, or they are forfeit. All right, so that means we would advance the Caucasus front, and we'll advance the El Arish front. But until the pipeline is built, the Sinai unit must roll less than its battle value to advance into boxes 5 or 4. So its battle value is 3, so they need a 1 or a 2. Got a 3. It bounced out of the tower. Only got a 4 that time. So they stay. They advance. Now I have 2 chances to try and move them back. I only need a 2, I guess. So we forfeit our second action. Now I'm going to do again. I'm going to draw again since we did an extra turn over here. All right, this is our first one that affects both fronts. You see the cross symbol on there. So in May of 1915, a combined Austro-German offensive was launched against the Russian Empire, seeking to reclaim lost territories in Galicia. The Central Powers breakthrough led to a substantial loss of Russian-controlled territory and the capture of an estimated 140,000 prisoners. So we're going to resolve the Gorlice-Tarnov Eastern Theater off-map battle. And then the same two fronts will try to advance, and we get 3 actions. So I'm going to stick this right here for now. Okay, so when this happens, now we have a special rule for that. Tripped over my chair. Hang on. Okay, so basically, what the iron cross on here means is that the battle was actually fought out on the other game's map. Since we drew this from the Ottoman game, this battle is actually played out, or did take place right here, which is spot 2 on the Polish front in the Hapsburg game. So what happens then is that depending on the marker, where this marker is, will impact the die roll. Now, the battle is a 2. And I did have, yeah, it's right here. So here's the marker for it. As you can see, it's a 2. And there are some special rules depending on the card, but in the case of this one, we're going to roll against this 2. However, the only way that they would win this battle is to roll a 1. A 2 would be a stalemate, which goes in this box. But we get a +2 DRM because of the battle having, the front is behind where the battle took place. So that actually gives us a +2 DRM, which means this is going to be automatically a victory because we cannot roll a 0. So I'm just going to put this in the victory box, and that will move the Turkish will up to 1. Now we have to advance these 2 fronts, which means we again check for the British here until this Sinai pipeline is done. And to advance, they need a 2 or 1, and they don't get it. So they're stuck, and this guy moves up 1. And then we get 3 actions. So with our 3 actions, I think we'll spend 2 to get a resource marker for the Western Theater. And then we'll use the other one to attack on the Caucasus front. And we need a 2 would be a tie, so we need a 3 or higher. And so we did not advance it. Okay. So that's 2 for them. Now we're going to go back over here. We draw another card. It is the Battle of Dogger Bank. No cross, so this only affects the Hapsburg game. So this, of course, was a naval battle in 1915. And we're going to resolve this battle, and then we're going to advance the Polish and Romanian fronts. The Romanian front is not active. We do a loyalty test on the Czechs, and we get 2 actions. So the naval battle is here. As you can see, we need a 4 is a stalemate, 1, 2, 3 is a loss, and a 5, 6 is a win, and it's a 4. So this goes in the stalemate box, which does not do anything for our national will. It remains at 0. Then we advance the Polish front, so that's going to move them up here. Then we get a loyalty test on the Czechs, whose number is a 4. And they fail, so they move here. And then we get 2 actions. So for our first action, we will attempt to push the Polish back. We do. For our second action, let's see if we can move the Croats back. And we can. So they go back to the loyal box. Okay, so if you watch the Hapsburg video, you'll know this already. But a 3 or less is a check for the Czechs, a 4 or 5 is a check for the Croats, and a 6 is a check for the Hungarians. When you roll for it, the card will sometimes tell you, as we've seen every time so far, the card will tell you which one to check occasionally. So let's draw our next card. This is the Gallipoli landing, so this is going to open a new front for us. Activate the Gallipoli front, place Hamilton 2 on Cape Helles, and Sedol Bahir destroyed in the Narrows. Okay, so we are going to put, it is Hamilton, it's this guy right here. He goes here on Cape Helles, on the Gallipoli front, and we're going to put that our fortress here at Sedul Bahir has been destroyed. I do need to start building some stuff here because it gets a little dicey. Now we advance the Arab front, which does not, we need to advance the Arab front, which isn't active yet, and the Caucasus. So the Caucasus are going to go here. And the Arab front, as I said, is not active, and we get 2 actions. So our first action will be to purchase one of these. We're going to put a minefield right here to make it a little bit more difficult for the British if and when they activate this. And next we will use our other action to again try to push the Russians back, because we only need a 3 or higher, and we got a 5. So let's move him back. Try and keep these guys as static as possible. Keep their armies back, I should say. All right, so back to the Habsburgs, and we get Straff Expedition. This was in 1916. The Austrians launched a major offensive against the Italians, conducted in the Trentino region, dubbed the Straff Expedition, punitive expedition, reference to the perceived Italian betrayal of the Triple Alliance. Okay, so we're going to advance Balkan, Carpathian, and Polish. Only 2 of those are active. We got a random, as I said, 2 random loyalty tests. So we get our first one of those, and we get a +1 DRM with 3 actions to all offensives versus the Italians this turn. All right. So first thing we're going to do is our advancement. So the Italians will try to advance here. Again, they need a 1, which they do not get. Then the Carpathian and Polish will both advance 1. So this is again going to go here, and this is going to go here. And we're going to move this down to a -2 because that's a double penalty there. And now we get 3 actions. We can, it says 2 actions required to launch offensive against front in Playev or Udine. So, or Udine rather. So we're going to do it. We need a 3. And we do get a +1 DRM. And we got a 4. So they get pushed back. And since we do get that was 2 actions. Since we do get 1 more action, I'm going to use it here. Even though it's tempted to try to push them back again, we're just going to do it this way. And rolled a 4, which means they move back, I believe. I believe that's how it works. Let me confirm that. That's kind of how I've been playing it, but I could very well be wrong. Yep, I was wrong. It's less than or equal. So this goes back here, and that is there. And that ends their turn. We go back to the Ottomans, draw a card. You get the Second Battle of Ypres. So we're going to resolve that. And that's a Western Theater one, which I did buy a marker for. So that's good at least. And then they will advance or attempt to advance the British Sinai front, and they will advance the Caucasus front. We get 1 action. So let's find the marker for, whoops, that's the wrong side. Here it is. You need a 5 or a 6 to win. A 4 is a tie. Anything else, and it's a defeat. It's a 6. It's a 6. So we win. And that goes there, and that moves us up to a 2. Then we advance this guy here, and we try to move him up. He needs a 2 or a 1, and he doesn't get it. So he sticks where he is, and we get 1 action. So again, I am going to, I think I'm going to buy another minefield. I hate to leave the Russians there, but I want to try and build this up. So we'll do that, because eventually we're going to draw the British attempt to take the Straits, the Narrows, and get up to Constantinople, which would end the game. You can play this game. If one loses, they both lose, or you can play them separately and have the Ottomans drop out or the Habsburgs drop out, whichever one happens first. But in this case, we're just going to continue on, and we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. All right, we get another double here, and that affects both. Okay, Russian cipher cracked. This one says take 3 radio intercepts. You may discard 1 radio intercept to cancel 1 advance on the Carpathian, Italian, Polish, or Romanian fronts. We'll do I forgot to do the loyalty checks. Forgot to do the loyalty checks the last time, and there were 2 random ones. So let's do that right now. So the first one is a 4. That's going to be the Croats. So we need a Well, that's good. And then the second one is also the Croats. And that one's good as well. So another no harm, no foul for missing it. But this time we're going to do a check on the Croats again. And 2 actions. So Balkan front not active yet. Italian front, so they need a, well, they didn't get it. They needed a 2, I guess, a 1 or a 2. Did not get it, so they don't advance. The Balkans aren't active, and now we get 2 actions. And I will check to see what the impact of this is on the other front as well. They do get their 3 radio intercepts. I'll put them over here because they're now active. So the only thing that said is that you can't transfer the intercepts from one map to the other. That makes perfect sense to me, so that's fine. And we will continue on with our action. We get 2 actions. So let's see if we can't move these guys out of here. We need a 5 or a 6. We don't get it. Let's try again. And we don't get it. Okay, back to the Ottomans. Grand Duke Nicholas takes control. Okay, so if it is on the map, we place the Caucasus front with Grand Duke Nicholas showing the same flag. Okay, so he's gone. And here's Grand Duke Nicholas with his imperial flag. And he's a slightly better commander. And then we advance Mesopotamia. That's the first advance for them. Gallipoli. And the Salonika, which is not active yet. And then we get 3 actions. So 3 actions here. We've got some pushing back to do. Well, let's try Gallipoli first, since we only need a 3 there. Okay, back your butts up. Now we'll try Mesopotamia. Need a 4, got it. And then we'll try the Caucasus. And we failed that one. Okay, back to the Hapsburgs. Battle of the Falkland Islands. So this is another naval battle. And so we're going to resolve that. And then we are going to advance Italian and Carpathian. And we'll do a loyalty test on the Hungarians. And we get 3 actions. All right, so Falklands is right here. It is a 5. So this is going to be a hard one to win. The only way we win is a 6. Oh, man, it's a stalemate. Okay. Adjusted my light since I was getting a lot of shadow. This is a little bit better, I think. A little bit better. All right, so what were we doing? We just did the Falklands, so now we got an advance on the Italian front. And an advance on the Carpathian front. And that's bad. That's going to reduce this to a 2. Okay, and then we get 3 actions. So I think it's obvious we need to try to push Brusilov back, which is not easy because we need a 5 or a 6. And we don't get it. I'm going to try again. Ah, thank you. All right, so that'll push him to there. And we're going to try one more time because I feel like it's important. Whoops, I don't have these. That was on there from a previous game. Sorry about that. All right, last one. Nope, nope, nope. Okay. So that stays at -2 because we have 1 victory, 1 defeat, 2 stalemates, which don't do anything, but we lose 2 for this. We need to kick them out of there. Okay. Let us go back to the Ottomans. Intelligence Bureau for the East. So we're going to place the Intelligence Bureau for the East in the Turkey box. And that is right here. And we're going to put it in the Turkey box. Okay, and then we advance Mesopotamia and we get 1 action. So Mesopotamia, and we get 1 action. And I think that action will be to try and we're going to try to move them back. No, 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 no. Okay. We go up. We got another one. Mackinson takes command. We got the Iron Cross on here. So we're going to take our 5 Mackinson markers. And I bet the effect that this is going to say is we can't use them on the Ottoman front. They get a Balkan, which is not active, and an Italian advance. Random loyalty check. And again, I think I forgot to check the Hungarians. We'll do that right now. They pass. So random, let's do this now while I'm thinking about it. We get a 6, so that's the Hungarians again. And they pass again. Okay. And we advance the Italian front, so they have to roll less than a 2, which of course is a 1. And they got it, so that's a problem. So they are in Gorizia. That moves us down to a -3 up here. That's bad. And I get 2 actions. Actually, I'm going to play a radio intercept to prevent that from happening. So I will do that. That's a wise use of that. That does not count as an action. Let me check the effect here just to see if I was right. Yes, that was correct. Mackinson cannot be used on the other map. So that makes sense. All right, 2 actions. So let's see. I guess we'll continue to try and move the. Well, you know what? Let's not do that. Let's do this instead. Let's spend 2 and buy a resource and put it on the Western Theater. Okay, so that's there too. Now we'll go over to the Ottomans. Armenian volunteer units, no events this turn. It triggers optional rule number 10. I'm not using optional rules. Arab is not active. Caucasus and Sinai both get an advance, and it's 2 actions for us. Okay. So let's see. We've got the Arab front is not active, and the Caucasus move up, and the Sinai will attempt to move up. He needs a 3 or less. He gets it, so he moves up 1. And I get 2 actions, so we'll take a crack at, what do we want to do? I'm going to buy another resource, and I'm going to put it on the Eastern Theater. So that will be there too, and we go back to the Hapsburgs, and we've got Putnik reclaims Belgrade, so we have a resolve the Belgrade miscellaneous Serbian off-map battle. Advance Italy, Carpathian, and Balkan. Balkan's not active. Loyalty test for the Croats. Let's do that first so I don't forget. They need a 3 or... So that is a fail. Oh, wait, I think that has to be less than that. So no, that stays there, I believe. Okay, 2 actions, and we have to do the Belgrade. Resolve it. So this one needs a 4. Put that right there. 5, that's a victory. That helps, that moves us up here. Okay, now we have Carpathian and Italian. So we'll roll here to see if he gets to advance. He does not. Then we'll do the Carpathian. They do not either, so that's good. And I get 2 actions. So again, I'm going to try and bust this guy out of here and fail. And then we'll try, let's try to move them back, I guess. And it's a 3. So that is a tie, which does not work. And we go to the Ottomans. Goban dominates the Black Sea. We get retreats instead of an advance. Retreat on Salonika, which we don't have. The Caucasus gets to retreat 1. Advance Arab and Sinai. So again, this is not complete yet. So he has to roll to see if he moves up. And oh, it was on a 4 originally, and it flipped to a 1. All right, and I get 2 actions. So first one is going to be an attempt to move Murray off that spot, and we do. And I think the next one we're going to put Yildiz in here, I think. Okay. Draw our next card. Drina campaign. And we get the Resolve the Drina miscellaneous Serbian off-map battle, Italy and Polish front, and a Czech loyalty test. So let's do that. Czech's number is a 4. And they pass. And 2 actions. 2 actions. Well, they get to move up, but they do have to roll for it. And they fail. And the Drina is here, and that's a 3. So let's see what we get. It's a 1, so that's a loss. That moves us down to a -3. And then we get 2 actions. So we're going to attempt again to move the Russians off that spot. We rolled a 2. That does not do it. We're going to try again. We got a 3, which also does not do it. To the Ottomans, Turkish mine laying. You may immediately place 1 minefield marker for free, which I've already paid for, so I can't do that. Advance Arab and Caucasus, and then 2 actions with a +1 DRM to offensives versus the Mesopotamia front. Okay. So we advance the Caucasus, and we get a +1 DRM against the Mesopotamia for our action. So let's take advantage of that. They rolled a 5. So they get bumped back, and then we'll roll to see if we can move the Russians back as well, and we do. So that was a good turn for the Ottomans. Now we'll go to the Hapsburgs. Romania joins the Allies. Advance the war status marker. We're in total war over there. And activate the Romanian front. Place Prizren on Bucharest. So Bucharest is right here. And that also moves us down to -4. We're in big trouble here, man. Advance Italian and Carpathian. Loyalty test for the Hungarians. They pass. So next we go to the Italians. We'll try to advance. And they will pass. And I will use a radio intercept again to move them back. Put that there. Go back. I only have 1 of those left. And the Carpathians move up. So, you know what? I'm going to spend my last one to prevent that as well. All right. 3 actions. And I'm going to use Mackinson. Now, what Mackinson can do is let you roll 2 dice for each attack. So I'm going to spend my first Mackinson here. Grab my second die from over here. We are attacking the Russians. We need a 5 or a 6. We got 2 1s. So that's 1 action. Now we'll do a second action. Ah, hallelujah. We got a 6. So bump him back. We regain 2 will points. That's good. And actually, I spent a second Mackinson to do that. So now let's try to move these guys back. We only get 1 die. And it's a 3, so that did not work. Okay. Now we'll go back to the Ottomans again. And Bulgaria joins the Central Powers. And we got a little Iron Cross there. No event. Advance Mesopotamia and Sinai, so he has to roll. Does not get it. And we get 1 action. All right, so let's check the impact of this. Okay, so the Bulgarians are in the war. So we put that there. Now that's the impact. Even though we drew it on this board, it affects this board. So it does a couple of things, actually. It gives us a +1 DRM on offensives against the Romanian front. So that's a thumbs up. You also have the ability to put a trench line here once the Baltic front is activated. And the Berlin-Baghdad Railway is open if Bulgarian entry active and the Habsburgs control Skopje, which I believe they do, because when this front opens, they're going to be in Salonika and come up this way. So I am going to put that the railroad is open. Okay, so what does the Berlin-Baghdad Railway do? Well, it's only open when Bulgaria is in the war, so they will leave the war eventually because there is an event card for that. But for now, they're in the war, and the Allies do not control Skopje, which is here. If they do, then the railway becomes closed, but you can reopen it as long as Bulgaria is still in the war by recapturing that spot. When it's open, we mark it as such. Either nation can then spend a German staff operation, which is actually on the other side of the resources counter. You can see there it says German staff operations. So we can do that. And that would allow, it gives an action. You can pay for an action on the other board. So if the Ottomans did it, they would do it on their turn, and they could conduct an offensive on behalf of the Habsburgs on one of the fronts here. So that's kind of cool. Actually, it says the Ottomans can spend a German staff operation during their turn to conduct an offensive against the Italian front on the Habsburgs map. So I guess it's only the Italian front. Oh, that's a for example. So yeah, I think we can do an offensive against any front. The other thing is either nation can give one action to the other nation by spending 2 actions of its own. The action is resolved during the giving nation's turn. So I can say, okay, I'm giving them an action. It costs 2 for the Ottomans, and then the Habsburgs would decide what to do with it. That's if it's a 2-player thing, obviously. And then either nation may send the Asia Corps, which is an Ottoman game. We don't have it yet. Or German aid, which is in the Hapsburg game, and we also don't have it yet. But we can, and then the other nation can use that marker as they wish. Mackinson and radio intercepts, as we already learned, are not available for transfer via the railway. So that's the effect of the Berlin-Baghdad railway being open, which happened from this card. I am now going to follow the rest here. So the Mesopotamia front moves up 1, and the Sinai attempts to move up as well. So they need a, yep, they do it. So they are up here now. And then the Ottomans get 1 action. So since they're closing in on Baghdad, which will cost us a national will point, I think I will use that 1 action to attack the Mesopotamian front. We got a 3, which is a tie, which of course tie goes to the other side in this case. All right, now we will move on to the Habsburg side. Battle of Passchendaele. And so this is a Western front. We're going to resolve the Passchendaele Western Front off-map battle and advance Balkan Romanian, random loyalty test, and 2 actions. Okay, so Passchendaele is a 4, but I do have a +1, so it becomes a 3. So a 3 will be a stalemate, a 1 or 2 will be a defeat, and anything other 4, 5, 6 is a victory. Look at that. Look at that. All right. Well, we are. Oh, and this actually does not go down until the fortress is gone. So I'm actually only at -1. I thought it was much worse, but I did realize that. So that actually, until this fortress is gone, we won't lose the two victory points there, or the 2 national will points. So this was on the, and then we got Italian advance, so they need to roll for that. No, and the Romanians advance. So Romanians advance there, and we get 2 actions. So first one will be to attempt to push them back, and we will. And then let's try to push them back again. And that's a 2, but we do get a +1 DRM from the Bulgarians, so that actually pushes them here. So that was worthwhile. We did succeed in pushing them both back. Now we go over to the Ottomans again. The Senussi Revolt. Okay, so this took place in Libya. So we're going to have a retreat on the Sinai and an advance from Mesopotamia and Gallipoli and get 2 actions. So they retreat, and Mesopotamia goes to Baghdad, which costs me 1 will. And the other one was Gallipoli. They move here to Anzac Cove, and we get 2 actions. So first action, is going to be to try and bump them back. And we do. And the second one will be to try to bump these guys back. And we don't. All right. All right. Okay, so let's go to the next card. Nivelle offensive. So we got another Western Front offensive that we're going to resolve. And we're going to advance Carpathian and Polish and do a Hungarian loyalty test. Let's do that right now. We fail. And we get 2 actions. So Carpathian moves back here. And Polish move here. That costs us 1 will. And we did that, and we get 2 actions, and we have to resolve Nivelle. Okay, so Nivelle is only a 3. We still have the +1. And with a 6, that's a victory. So that is a victory. That will move us back to a -1 from that. And that's all we've got. So we're doing okay. We're hanging tough here. We get 2 actions. So let's use those 2 actions to, first of all, try to move them out of there. And no. And let's try it again. And yes. So back there. This will go to 0. And okay. Now we'll go to the Ottomans. We've got the Ghadar conspiracy. So this is a coup in India on a 5. Which means we actually need to roll a 6. Then we're going to advance Gallipoli and Caucasus and get 2 actions. So we'll roll for our India coup. Now you could use, if I had moved this intelligence bureau to India and drawn that card, I would have been able to get a +2 DRM on here. But I believe I need to roll a 6, which is unlikely, and I rolled a 4, so that's a fail. And we go, Gallipoli goes here, which moves them down by 1. And Caucasus goes here. Okay. Now we go, we only have 1 card left, so that's going to be the one that's going to move us into the next era. Bulgaria joins the war on this side, so this is already in effect, except it is going to do this. We got advance the war status marker, which we already did. I don't think, from here to Great War. So we're going to add the gray cards in here as well now. And we've got Bulgarian entry, and we're going to put the Bulgarian front here, which is Saral. Go down here. And what else does that say? It says activate the Bulgarian front. Bulgarian marker gives you a +1. On the Romanian front, we're going to advance the Italian and Polish. Do a Croat loyalty test, 2 actions. You may forfeit this card's 2 actions to place the Bulgarian trench line on Veles, which is what I'm going to do. So that is this marker right here. And what that does is they have to roll under, this is going to be hard to read, but I'll get it as close as I can. Roll attrition, just like the Italians have to do and the Sinai front has to do, to each turn end check for removal. Okay, so I'm going to put this here. That'll be our 2 actions. And we had to advance the Italians, who need to roll. And they got a 4, so they don't advance. And then the Polish do get to advance. They go there. This moves to here. And that is that. And I spent my actions on that, so they are done. Now we get our last card here. Oh, first of all, I do need to, I'm going to put these here so that I remember to mix these in with that. And then we're going to add the yellow deck to the Ottoman side as well. Jihad declared. New epic, shuffle the midday cards into the deck. We got the Caucasus, Mesopotamia, and Sinai all advance, and 3 actions with +1 DRM to all offensives. Okay, so we're going to advance here, which gives us a -1. We're going to advance here, which also gives us a -1. And we're going to advance here, but that involves a die roll. And they fail it, so they don't advance. All right, I got some deck shuffling. Oh wait, let me do my actions first. So we're gonna do offensives, right? So we'll start here. We get a +1. And move back. So that's a -1. Then we'll do this one. We also move back because of the +1. And let's hit this one. And that works too. All right. Now I'm going to, well, I don't have to do anything with this one because it's already ready for play. This is the yellow deck. So it's going to go here. I'm going to put these blue aside. And I will shuffle in the gray with the yellow and whatever's left of the blue over here on the Hapsburg side. Okay, so we move back to the Habsburgs. They got a nice fat, thick deck now. We've got the Battle of Mons. Okay, and then advances in Polish, Balkan, and Italian fronts. So they would move up. Balkans, they have to roll less than a 2, which means they have to roll a 1. They don't. And the Italians have to roll a 1 as well. They do not either. So the Polish are on the doorstep of Vienna, the Polish front. So that is bad. We have to resolve our Battle of Mons here, which is a 4. We do get a +1 from the resources, and we got a 3, which becomes a 4, which means it's a stalemate. So it doesn't push us down, which is good. And now we get 2 actions. We're going to take Mackinson, and I'm going to spend them. And we're going to try to move the Poles back, the Polish front, rather. These are still Russians. And we do. So that would move us. Actually, it doesn't affect that. And we're going to do that again and not use a Mackinson this time. And got a 4 again. So back there. Okay, and that's our 2 actions. Now we go to the Ottomans. We draw yellow cards here. The Erzurum offensive, no event. Advance the Caucasus. 2 actions and no offensives versus the Caucasus front this turn. Okay. Oh, I got to do a loyalty test. I always forget the loyalty test. 4, so that's the Croats, and they need, that's a 3. I think that means they don't move. Okay. Got to advance this front, which goes back here, and now we lose a will there. Actually, that's not right. We got a +2, a -1, so we should be at 1. I didn't adjust that last time. Okay, so we got 2 actions, and we can't use them against that front. So we will use them against Mesopotamia, which is a fail, and Gallipoli, which is good. Okay, back to the Habsburgs. Hungarian food shortages, no offensives this turn except for German staff operations. I don't have any. Balkan, Polish, Italian, all advanced. 2 Hungarian checks, 1 action. So let's do the Hungarian checks. That passes. That one passes. All right. And we get 1 action, and everybody moves up 1. So they're going to try. They need a 1. Don't get it. They're going to try. Also need a 1. They do get it. That stinks. And the Polish front. There. Moves us down. And we get 1 action. So with our 1 action, we're going to attack the... oh, we'll lose 1 there too. We will attack the Poles, I guess. Actually, no. Let's do Gorizia. Okay. And that is our only action. Oh, nope. Can't do it. I forgot. Well, we're going to spend 1 to flip the fortress back to 3. So we're going to repair the fortress with our 1 action, since we can't do an offensive. That I forgot there until I remembered. Okay, we got a provisional government takes charge. So this is when the Russian Tsar fell. If it's on the map, retreat the Caucasus front 1 space. So it's going to go back here, which will move us back up to 2. And let's see what else. And flip it to the provisional side. So that goes to that side. Okay, and then we've got advances Gallipoli, Salonika, which is not yet active, and Sinai in 2 actions. So Gallipoli, Salonika not active, and Sinai. So they have to roll. And they got it, so they move up. Okay. All right, we get 2 actions. So let's attack this provisional army. Roll a 1. We'll do it again. And I threw it across the table. And we got a 4. So back it up. All right. Hapsburg side. We got a gray one. Romanian army. Oh, wait. I need to check this. Let me check it. I got to check it for the other side. So the provisional government, of course, is going to affect this as well. They get flipped and retreat, and they get flipped and retreat. So that gives them 1 point back. And now we do the Romanian army reformed. If it is on the map, flip the Romanian front to the Ivrescu side. If it is not, well, it is. So we flip this to the Ivrescu side, which makes it harder. And then we got a Balkan and Carpathian advance. Croat loyalty test. Let's do that right now. It's a 5, so they're good. And we're going to advance Balkan and Carpathian and get 2 actions. So they get to attempt to advance on the Balkan front. They do. And the other one is Carpathian. So let me go back to there again. Okay, now I get 2 actions. So our first action will be to try to kick these guys out. And we do. And our next action, I think, will be to try to bump them back. And we got a 4, which is higher than a 3. So they also got a little easier to beat, so that's good. The Russians are starting to falter, just as they did historically. Internal issues at home. Italy joins the war. Well, resolve the Italy joins Eastern Theater off-map battle. Okay. So that is right there. It's a 3. I do have a +1 for my Eastern Front, so unless I roll a 1 or 2, I rolled a 2, which means it's a stalemate. So that does nothing. Arab Front, no. And Salonika Front. So neither of those fronts are active, so we're just going to get 2 actions now. And I think what we'll do is we will buy... Will we buy something? Yeah, let's buy Dardanos. Where? Where did I put that one? It's right here. Okay. All right. And the other one, we will attack Murray and fail. All right. Okay. Let's see. Habsburgs. Fonletto Vorbeck. Resolve the Fonletto Vorbeck miscellaneous off-map battle. And this is in Africa. So this guy drove the Allies nuts. And we're going to get an advance in the Balkans and Carpathians, a Czech loyalty test, and 2 actions. Let's do the Czech loyalty test. It fails. Those rascally Czechs. Okay, Italian and Carpathian will advance. So these guys are going to move up here again. The Italians don't have to take a check, so they're going to go there. I need to move them back. And 2 actions. 2 actions. All right. Oh, we got to resolve the battle, though, too, Joe. So it's a 2. And we rolled a 6, so that is a victory. So that will give us a point back, thankfully. Now we got 2 actions. Let's try and bump the Italians back out of here. Graz. So that worked. And then we'll try to bump them out of the next one as well, and that worked too. Okay, I was just looking at the national will up here. So I wanted to check if this applied to the Austrians, and it does not. It only goes this way. So we don't have one here. This doesn't take effect until the fortress is gone, which it's not. So no loss here. No loss here. No loss here. No loss there. So I think this means I'm at +1. And I have it at -2 right now because I forgot to move it, I think. So I think they're at +1. All right. So now we will, let's see, we're going to move, oops. We go back to the Ottomans. Arab revolt, okay? It's not on the map. Activate the Arab front. Place Faisal Hussein on Yidda. That's a misprint. On here it's Basra. I'm sorry, not Basra, Kars. So I'm going to activate him, and he is right. So that's Lawrence's side. This is Faisal's side. He goes here. We advance Mesopotamia again. And we try to, we do advance here. And we get 2 actions. So first action is going to be to try and bump these, well, the actions are going to be to try to bump these guys back. No on Mesopotamia. And we'll bump him back. That keeps him from Damascus, at least. Okay, now let's go to this side. And we get Second Army out of position. So this is an early war one. We get advance of Carpathian and Polish fronts. We're going to do a random loyalty test +1. So we're going to roll for that. It's a 5, which means it becomes a 6. And we check for the Hungarians, which pass. We advance Carpathian. So that's going to go here and reduce this again. And then they're going to go there, and that's going to cost a victory point. And then we get 2 actions with a -1 DRM to all offensives versus the Carpathian and Polish fronts. So that means we won't attack those 2 fronts, basically. What we will attack is we'll attack the Romanian, since we have the Bulgarian +1, and that didn't work. And then for our other action, we'll attack the, actually, no, we can't do that because that costs 2. So let's attack them again. And failed again. All right. Good stuff. Actually, I think I'm going to stop this here because it's getting really long. So hopefully this gives you a feel for how the 2 games played together works. That was the idea of doing this. It's a lot to kind of keep track of. I found myself forgetting stuff right here, especially. But it works. Unfortunately, I never bought any German. If you flip this over, you have the German staff operation on the other side. So you can remove this and basically gain another action. So you buy it, you stick it in there, and you can take it and put it on that side, and you got German staff operation. Over here, you have the same thing on either game, so you can do it from either side, and then you can use that to do. You can transfer something to the other side, etc. That's what the railroad does. Yeah, these are both obviously very well regarded games, very highly considered. They're not overly complicated. There isn't all that much really to remember, but they are fun and a challenge. It is hard to win, so you know, I have great respect for both these games. They're a lot of fun. I will probably pick up some other State of Siege games, kind of late to the series, but they're enjoyable and I like it. So that is going to do it. As always, if you do have questions or comments, feel free to post them. But oh, also, as I always say, please consider liking, sharing, and/or subscribing. Don't forget to hit the bell so you get notifications. But yeah, that's it. That's going to wrap up the Solitaire Sunday series on these two games, and we will be moving on to something else that I will reveal next time out. So until then, I'm Joe. This is Hexed Encountered, and as always, happy gaming.